Hey YouTubers, this is Jacques, and today I'm going to talk about one mistake all professional photographers make. Hey YouTubers, this is Jacques. Listen, I want to talk about a mistake that all professional photographers make. And it's something that we can avoid, and it's something that can be done, and it's really, really simple to do. And it involves your user manual. Now, before I talk about that, I just want to get into a little anecdote that happened to me recently. I had done a video on the Fujifilm X-T2 and some of the recommended SD cards that you should put into that camera. And in that video, on camera, I showed people my navigation through the menu. I went to format my card. Back in the user settings, format, and I will do slot 1 again, just to make sure. If anyone owns an X-T2, you know that the navigation to get to the actual part where you can format the card can be pretty long. I believe it is the wrench, user settings, format card, format slot 1, format slot 2. So as you can see, you have to go through a lot of ways to get to that point where you're actually formatting the card. Well, on that video, I got a comment from a guy named Adnan Onart who told me, all you have to do is press the garbage button a long time, and I think it's over 3 seconds, and all of a sudden you'll be in the format menu of the camera and you'll be able to format your card a lot quicker. Now, what struck me was the fact that he said on that, it's documented in the user manual. And when he said that, I laughed at myself and I started thinking, when did I read the X-T2 user manual? I've owned this camera for a little over a year, and it is probably the first camera where I have never picked up this thing. I never picked it up. We've used a lot of cameras, like a lot of cameras. Each camera we use, you learn a sort of workflow that every camera has. Therefore, when you get your new camera, like all people, you are very excited. You pick that camera up and you start using it. And you're so used to where buttons are, you say to yourself, well, I'm familiar. I want to go out and shoot with this thing. And that's what you want to do. So you pick it up, you look at the buttons, you say, this is at the same place as my old Canon, or this is at the same place as my old Fuji, and you go out and shoot. Time goes by, you don't have a lot of time in every day, and all your time, the spare time you do have, is valuable. You don't want to spend your time too much reading a user manual. So days go by, you get a gig, you say, well, I'll work on the knowledge I have of just exploring the menu system, and you go out and shoot. But I am here to tell you that there will always come a day where you're going to sit there and you're going to go, what function? How do I do that? I used to do it on my old camera, but I don't know where to go on this camera because I just got it. How do I get the function that does this, that, and this? So, the big mistake that all professional photographers make is to not read the manual. I know it sounds like a stupid thing, and we all say to ourselves, you know what? I'm proud of myself. I do read the manual. I go out and read this thing. It's not the case. We don't read it in depth, and you do have to learn the manual in depth of every camera. Be it new, be it old, you just gotta do it. Therefore, what happens is that our expertise causes us to be a bit less pro. It's as if you're already in college, and then all of a sudden somebody says, well, listen, you gotta go back to grade 6 just so you can get a refresher course. And that sort of, you say to yourself, well, I'm not going to spend the time relearning courses. I'm not going to relearn a camera. So here's the question I have for you. How many of you guys actually do read the manual? How many of you are as guilty as me of having a camera for a couple years or 1 year and not even ever touching the manual? Which, by the way, I swear I'm going to read this. I'm going to read it. But how many of you out there have read the manual? How many are proud that they don't ever read manuals and they proceed fine on a wedding gig, on anything like that? I want to hear your comments. Everybody, like, share, subscribe, and don't forget, everybody, keep on making something from nothing.